Alrighty, boys, listen, drum roll. Hopefully that didn't sound too crazy, but listen, we're back. We have a new patch 1.2.4. Now, before anybody asks any questions, let me answer them, okay? This is a beta patch. This is kind of like a hot fix, but also it will be kind of like the new beta. If you are on the beta 1.2 patch, it will automatically update for you. Okay, so if you have any mods, I suggest you wait a little bit because they might be broken because quite a bit of things were added. But also, this does not mean that players on PlayStation and Xbox have this patch. They do not. You guys are still on 1.1.6 if I'm not mistaken. That is the current live patch. Now, do I have any news on when the beta patch will go to live? Ooh, excuse me. Not currently. I do not have that information yet. I'm still looking to see what they say. But this is a good sign because this looks like a very extensive, in my opinion, beta patch. What that means, or beta hotfix patch. And what that means is we've had a couple of these, and the devs said after a couple of these, we will see the move to live. And I know it took a long time, or it's still taking technically a long time, but I personally think we are getting close to the as you would say, the finale, and I think we will have the live in your hands soon. I've seen some people kind of, obviously people are upset. I understand it has taken a very, very long time. I understand it. But I've also seen some people saying, like, this has ruined my life. I've seen, like, 2 comments like that. Guys, please. Please. Refer to the meme made, like, I don't even know when this meme was made. But, like, why you have to be mad? It's just a game. Refer to the meme, all right? Because, listen, it's not the end of the world, okay? It's just a little bit longer wait, which sucks. I get it, but some people are being a little bit dramatic now, all right? We need to settle down a little bit. We need to settle down. There's a lot of good games that came out recently, I'll be honest with you. Resident Evil 4, Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, if you kind of like that stuff, Cyberpunk, if you kind of like that stuff. There's a lot of options here. We got a lot of options. I'm just saying that you could, play while you're waiting for this. I'm just saying. Let's just move on now, though, to the beta patch. What is in store and what is included, all right? So this is beta patch 1.2.4. I made a video a couple days ago, maybe like 5 days ago, where I talked about them talking about this patch, but now it is here, okay? And I kind of clocked it very quick because the comments, look at this. Today at this, today at that. I'm like, I clocked this after an hour it came out. That's what I'm talking about, man. All right? But let's get to it. All right, so the multiplayer lobby has been opened on the beta alongside a number of servers, allowing you to test the balance changes mentioned below. We're very much looking forward to your feedback. Please share it with us on the 1.2.4 balance changes feedback thread. There it is. We have another thread right over here. Look at that. And this has to do with multiplayer. So, as you can see, a lot of these changes will be multiplayer. We will go over them, but we're going to go over the single player changes first. But if you are on the beta patch on Steam, guess what? Now you can actually play online as well and test all these changes that we will be going over, okay? But let's go over this, okay? So I kind of made a list here on the side, as you can see, whoop, right there, about what I think is the most important out of all of these, because we're not going to go over all of these, but I'm going to link this down below if you want to go over all of these, okay? So first, in terms of crash fixes, we have a lot of crash fixes. I'm going to just go over a couple of them. Again, they might affect you, they might not. That's usually how crash fixes work, right? So there's a crash that occurred when governor was changed. People do that kind of a lot. There's what's called a crash that occurred when the last enemy troop was killed in battle. That happens a lot as well. Obviously you're going to be in a lot of battles, and that could be a crash that can really get annoying. One about the retreat scene with the hermits. One when exiting the game during a mission. For example, if you are, let's say, in a battle, in a town, that's considered a mission scenario. Then we have one that's rendering a thumbnail in a mission. All right. And one where world map due to quest heroes not being correctly deleted. There it is. So kind of like if they pretty much die in combat, they are not correctly deleted, your game might crash as well. But good amount of crash fixes. Always good to see. Now let's move on to the changes. So fixes. We have actually kind of good amount of fixes. The main thing I want to look for is right over here. Okay, and then I'm going to go over a couple of these. So let's go over this one together. So they refactored the map and siege events, fixing many bugs in the process. All right, so sieges, we're seeing some changes. Changes or fixes, whatever you want to see it, right? Fixes to bugs, which makes it better, right? So technically kind of like a change in some words, in some ways. So first, they fixed a bug that caused never-ending sieges. There it is. So sometimes sieges took forever, and they just never ended. Now that's not going to happen. There will be a solution. Then they fixed a bug that caused parties to get stuck in an encounter if one of the parties had changed factions. Interesting. I've never seen that before, but all right. So now they will not get stuck. So pretty much a lot of these fixes are making it so the game is more smooth. There is no more stagnation. So you can kind of see it that way. Then they fixed a bug that caused mercenary parties to indefinitely continue their current action after their contract has ended. There it is. So pretty much mercenary parties would still pretty much pretend like they're still part of their mercenary contract even if their contract has ended. That won't happen anymore. Then they fixed a bug that caused players or AI parties to indefinitely continue their current action after changing factions. Same thing, kind of like this one goes hand in hand. So mercenary parties and AI parties now will not continue that same thing. Then they fixed a bug that caused parties to attack their own settlements after having their diplomatic stance with their target settlement changed. Interesting. So I'm wondering, is this like right after you complete a siege, will they still try to attack their own place? That's kind of funny. I've actually never seen that before, but that is kind of a funny bug. Then they fixed... Oh, by the way, they could have made this into a feature. You know, like betrayal. That would have been kind of cool. You know what I mean? That would have been kind of cool. But, well, technically we have betrayal in the game. You just automatically start a war. But they could have made it into like something else. Regardless. Then they fixed a bug that caused your party to be kicked out of a settlement due to unrelated diplomacy changes. So they just kicked you out for no reason. Now they won't. And then they fixed a bug that caused your party to get stuck in an army whose leader changed factions while raiding a village. Very specific. But getting stuck in an army would suck, right? But now that does not happen. Alrighty, now onto the fixes I think are important out of all of these. Again, you can go look at them by yourself, but here are the ones that I found important. Alright, so we're just going to switch over to this right over here that I have so I can kind of like read it through, right? So the first one is they fixed a bug that caused a player to be charged twice for party screen changes, upgrades / recruits, if engaged in a conversation. So for example, if you're talking to somebody, whether it is a lord, whether you're in a town, village, or just out in battle, whenever you're talking to somebody, if you try to go to the party screen and upgrade or recruit somebody, guess what? And by recruit, I think they mean like from prisoner to troop, right? And that will cost you double. That will not happen no more. Then they fixed a bug that caused clan screen renown bar to be half full after reaching a new clan tier. This one pretty much makes it so now we will actually level at the right, what's the word for it? At the right pace. Before, you pretty much got a boost every single time you leveled up to a new clan tier, and you were halfway already done to the next one, which made it pretty much so clan tier 6 was very, very easy to achieve. Now it will take a little bit longer. It's still very easy to achieve, it's just going to take longer, as it should have in the first place. Then they fixed a bug that prevented clan members from regaining stamina while staying in settlements. So stamina, there's regarding the, what's it called? The crafting stamina. So whenever you do crafting, and obviously you can do crafting with clan members or your family members, you have to wait a little bit in the settlements or not in the settlements. But if you are waiting in the settlements, your clan members were not regaining their stamina, so you could not use them again, because obviously you need stamina. Every single thing that you do in the crafting screen takes up stamina, and that bar goes down, eventually down to 0 or close to 0, and you need to pretty much wait a little bit before you continue. That will that is fixed now, and now they will regain stamina as they should have. Next, they fixed the bug that caused troops to wait outside the castle during sieges unintentionally. Jesus, I can't read. But now troops will not wait outside. Hopefully, this is like talking about the troops that just like wait at the what do you call it? This has been like a really big problem for a very long time. But the troops that wait kind of like, let's say, for example, if like there's a ditch, they sometimes get stuck in the ditch or they get stuck right next to the wall and they never just want to go up. That will not happen no more. Then they fixed the bug that prevented the clan member from leaving the settlement when sending them to resolve an issue or creating a caravan via quick talk. All right, so if you did quick talk, which is like the option where you don't actually go through the town, you just talk to them directly without actually entering the town. If you decided to, for example, tell a quest giver, hey, I'm going to give you one of my clan members plus a couple of troops. Or if you go to a caravan and you set up a caravan that way, sometimes they would get stuck in there and never come out, which obviously means you're either going to fail the quest or you're going to have to dissolve the caravan to let them out, which again is, not great. But that is now fixed. It will work as intended. They will actually go and do what has to be done without getting stuck. Then they fixed a bug that allowed you to keep your workshop even when joining a faction that is at war with the workshop settlements faction. So pretty much how workshops work is they're a very safe investment unless the town that you put the workshop in becomes an enemy of you. Or if you join a faction and then that faction goes to war with, let's say, the settlement owner clan's faction, right? So if they become enemies to you, they take your workshop. Pretty simple. Now they will actually do that because sometimes that didn't happen. All right. Then they fixed a bug that caused some crafting items to turn into trash while loading the save. So any of you guys that had this problem and you guys had like a crafting run, and you're like, oh my goodness, every time I reload, it turns into trash. Therefore, I can't even use it. Reload the save now on this patch because you might be back on your crafting journey. Okay? Now, back to it on this screen. All right, so then we have changes. Really one change. They introduced the Listen. Dynastica? I think that's right. If you tell me it's wrong, I won't believe you. All right. So they reintroduced the Dynastica unique town scene with many major bug fixes. They actually took it away a while back because there were a lot of bugs and a lot of crashes that occurred in that town. But that has now been fixed and it looks nice. Okay, so go check it out. Now, moving on to multiplayer. So multiplayer, the only major change that I saw was they fixed a bug that prevented the map downloader from displaying custom maps. Maps should now be on, from now on, are located under the multiplayer/scene objective module. So now you can actually see your custom maps before you couldn't see them, which sucked. But the bigger changes, well, I didn't say that was the only big change, but like the only I guess fix, right? Now onto the changes. This one right here, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna go over all of it. Pretty much what they did is they changed a bunch of troops. They changed a bunch of troop stats. They changed a bunch of prices for things in multiplayer, and they changed a bunch of damage. A bunch of damage changes for for weapons, for troops, for the main player, all of them. So it's a lot of nerfs, a lot of buffs. So if you play multiplayer, you're going to know this a lot better than me. I don't play much multiplayer. So again, if you are a multiplayer player, first link down below will be to these patch notes so you can actually have a breakdown of every single change that happened. It's very thorough, as you can see right over here. It tells you exactly what has happened to exactly, what parts. And yeah, I'm not going to speak too much about it. Again, not a multiplayer player. But for whoever is a multiplayer player, first link down below. There is a bunch of changes, and I think they will obviously impact your multiplayer experience. So go check it out. And obviously, what's it called? In this thread right over here, right under the banner, you have this link right over here that brings you to these 1.2.4 balance changes, so you can actually talk with the developers about the changes and what you like and what you don't like. So you guys can, obviously make it into a better experience together with the players and the developers. All right, so go check that out if you are a multiplayer player. But now let's move on to both. So both are obviously changes that happen to both multiplayer and single player. And I think all of these are actually important. So let's go over all of them, right? So first, they increase the tendency of by the way, huge buffs to infantry incoming. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Kind of good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kind of good, because infantry, even though they're good, I'll be honest with you, they never beat archers. They never beat cavalry. They're just always, and they never beat siege. If we're talking about like siege weapons during for example, like if you're a defender and you're shooting the ballista, or if you're a attacker, they were always at the bottom of the totem pole. Will this change that? We will have to let time figure that out. But let's talk about it. So they increase the tendency of infantry troops to okay, let me restart. That was kind of crazy. They increase the tendency of infantry troops to choose the attack direction which would cause the most damage to the enemy. There it is. So we have some intelligence added. You know what I mean? To the infantry troops. Well, now they will pick the most vulnerable enemy for them to attack so they can do the most damage. Good. Then they increase the offensive tendencies and reduce the defensive behavior in infantry troops against cavalry. Cavalry, watch out. They will not just be standing there waiting for you to charge them. They're going to come with that business. You know what I mean? They're going to let you feel this, all right? Pause. Next, they updated the targeting calculation of infantry troops against cavalry, improving their decisions on who to target. There you go. Again, so they might not target a very, very heavily armored cavalry units, but let's say a lower tier cavalry units, they might jump on him. You know what I mean? They might actually, try to target him more, and this will probably make it better for the matchup of infantry versus cavalry. I still think cavalry will win if we're doing like a heads up, like a 1-to-1 battle, but the results will be better in bigger battles. By the way, if you hear birds, there's so many birds outside. Jesus, there was a bird earlier today. I don't know what bird makes this noise, but it was like, rah, 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 rah. It sounded like a frog, but like, I don't know if you guys can even hear it. But there's been so many birds. And there's a woodpecker. I think that's what it's called. Where he's just like, outside my window. It's crazy. I had to wait like 10 minutes before recording. All right, let's get back to it. That was kind of random. Then they revisited the spear bracing behavior on infantry troops to address several issues. So hopefully they will do more spear bracing. If I'm not mistaken, spear bracing, because my medieval terminology is kind of, it's all right. But spear bracing, I think, is the one where they put the spear out, and then if the cavalry charges them, the cavalry will pretty much be dismounted from their horse. So hopefully more infantry troops do that. And then they slightly increased the cavalry's tendency to switch to a spear when charging. So they also kind of improved cavalry as well. So we'll see how that goes. But it looks like a little bit of a buff to infantry. All my Sturgian players, rise up, rise up, rise up. And then we ended off with modding. Again, not a big modder. You know what I mean? But they fixed some crash fixes. They removed a specific function. Noise. And they fixed several issues for moddability of reloading ranged weapons. And they allowed the defining of class divisions with no perks. I'll be honest with you. No clue. But hey, shouts out. But yeah, that's all the changes. Pretty good. For a beta hotfix, pretty good. Good amount of changes. Again, I think we're getting close to the move to live with this beta hotfix. Can I give you a specific date? No. Am I going to? No. Because people cry if the date doesn't come, even though I tell you guys in advance, it's a prediction. It's a prediction. But regardless, I think we're getting close. We've had a couple more hotfixes, and I think hopefully it comes soon. Obviously, if you want to know the news on Bannerlord, I'm your guy. I'm the guy. I'm that guy. You know what I mean? The one. The only. Well, I'm not the only. But there's a lot of good creators out there. But, yes, the news. If you want the news on hotfixes, the news on what the devs say on the forums, I will always keep you guys updated. I check every single day, sometimes a couple times a day. So, yeah, there it is. It's a good amount of fixes. Keep up the good work. I like that. I already know the answer, but I have to ask, what is the ETA for console release? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Alright, I'll see you guys next next time. Oh, by the way, since it's the end of the video, I'm gonna just ramble a bit. I know I've been releasing a lot of videos on a lot of games, but I have so much to release. I know some people don't like it. I've received comments in the past where like, oh my god, you're releasing too much, I have to unsubscribe. I'm gonna keep it honest with you, dog. If you feel like you have to unsubscribe, just do it. You don't gotta tell me your goodbyes, alright? It happens. I understand. But like, you know, I got a lot of content. You know what I mean? I even have a second channel right now. There's so much going on. So many games are coming out at the same time. You guys might even see Counter-Strike 2 content on my channel. I'm branching out on every single way that I can. I'm enjoying, you know, gaming as a whole right now. There's gonna be more Resident Evil videos. There's gonna be more Baldur's Gate videos. There's gonna be definitely more Cyberpunk videos. I have so much, so much. And I'm also making a third channel where I play games that came out like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I'm gonna announce that soon as well. I have a second channel where I pretty much the stuff that doesn't make it to the first channel goes to the second channel. Listen, man, I'm trying to take it more seriously. I'm trying to, you know, bring the content. Um, you know, some of you might like it, some of you might not like it. You know, I appreciate all the support. I understand if it's too much. I understand if it's ruining your feed and you have to. I understand. Listen, there's no hard feelings either way. You know what I mean? But that's what's happening with the channel. So much to come, so much to do, and yeah, it's a good problem to have. You know what I mean? It's a great problem to have. Keep you busy, keep it going, and yeah, I appreciate everything. You know what I mean? I appreciate everything. I'll see you in the next one.